Hi DIYers, this is Frank at Alarm Grid. Today we're in the Alarm Grid lab working on the Lynx Touch L5210 alarm system. This unit will replace the previous L5200 Lynx system, which actually comes along with our wireless security system kits. In those kits we also have the 5811 wireless door window contact. This is our favorite contact for its versatility as far as the install goes. It's a very slim profile. It works very well on any door or window. You want to keep in mind with this unit, or with any wireless door window contact in general, you want to stay away from metal. So if you do have any metal doors or windows, you want to get some separation. The included foam adhesive tape is very thin. Sometimes some thicker tape can add some separation and offer some better issues with dealing with issues of interference. So today we're going to program the 5811. We're going to start by opening the box, which it comes in, and we're going to pop the tab. I find that a flathead screwdriver works best. We're going to insert the flathead, pop the sensor. We're going to take our Panasonic 2032 3-volt coin cell battery, and we're going to insert that into our contact. You'll see in the unit there's a red reed switch aligned with two tabs on the side. And what we're going to do here is when we put in the battery, you want to have the plus symbol up. You want to slide in the unit, snap it into place, and you want to sit it on top of the gold clip on the bottom. You never want to slide it under the clip. It's important that it sits nice and flush in there, and then we can snap the unit closed. And we have our 5811 with the battery in. There's also a magnet that comes with the 5811, and you always want to have the magnet within a ½ inch of the reed switch, and you can tell where the reed switch is by getting aligned up in these two tabs. So what we're going to do next is hop into programming. So we'll put this down for a minute, and always to get into programming, you can press the home screen at the bottom, go into security, more, if we're going to get into more, and then tools. Now the default installer code is 4112. Now we always recommend changing this code, but for our purposes today we'll use 4112, not to be confused with the master code, which is 1234. So we'll go to tools, enter 4112, go to program, zones. Now when you first log into your L5210, there'll be some pre-programmed zones. You don't necessarily have to use these zones. You can rename them. For example, if we go into zone 2, click on the front door, edit. We can rename this to whatever we'd like. For today's purposes, we can keep it on the front door. The 5811, just like most other Honeywell wireless door contacts, except for the 5815 and the 5816, when you use the internal reed switch, you want to map it to loop 1. Now you can either manually select that or you can auto-enroll it. We always recommend auto-enrolling so you can test the function. So we'll go into serial number, and we'll use the 5811 with the magnet when we're in the serial number field and pull it away, and we'll hear a single beep. Push it back to the reed switch, pull away the magnet, and it'll go 2 beeps, and it'll show the serial number and the loop number now. The third beep is the confirmation to lock it in. We can then put our sensor down. If you want, for your own due diligence, you can look at the serial number on the back of the unit and just verify it's the same number, which it looks like it is. So now we can select how you want the zone to be set up. So traditionally, for a door, you'd obviously choose a device type here as door. If you're doing it on a window, you can do window. That's pretty much the only selection you'd use on this sensor. We want to go into response type. Now, if it's your front door or any door for that matter, if it's an entry point that you plan on entering or exiting out of when the system is armed or you're coming in to disarm, you want to keep it on entry exit. So usually you keep it on entry exit 1, and we'll have another video that shows you how to set entry exit 1 as far as the delay period in which you have to disarm the system. You can also set the zone to perimeter, which it would be on a door or window that you do not want to have a delay on. For example, any side door, back door, any window really that you would not like to have a delay period when you enter the home or when that zone is opened before, in order to give you time to disarm. When you set it to perimeter, it's going to be an instant alarm as soon as that zone is open when the system is armed. So you'll want to set it to perimeter for any non-entry door or window. So we'll set that to perimeter for now. Let's say it's a side door. We have alarm report yes and no. We always want to keep that on yes, just in case, whether you have a central station monitoring the panel or not. It's always important to keep the alarm report set to yes, so that we know that when the zone is, so that it'll log to the central station reporting. We have chime here. Now the L5210, similar to the L5200 and the L7000, has many different chime modes now. So you can click through these and choose which chime you and your family prefer. Let's, for today's purposes, let's just keep it on standard. So you also want to choose supervision here. So we'll go to the supervision. It's on default. It is supervised. You want to leave it there. Because supervision, when you talk about wireless sensors like the 5811, basically the system wants to make sure that this sensor is within range of the panel. Now, there can be interference issues, strictly wireless range issues if you have several walls that are, that this needs to speak through in order to get back to the system. But what the panel does is when it's supervised, every 12 hours, this system checks in with the panel, and if it doesn't check in, then that's when the system will throw a supervision error. Now, you also have supervision issues when you talk about interference, where this contact is mounted. Now, if it's mounted on a metal door or window, especially a steel substance, that's going to cause supervision errors, and you'll have issues with supervision where it'll throw an error. Usually you can pad out the unit using some thicker foam adhesive tape. You can see that the unit comes with some very skinny foam adhesive tape. So you can get some thicker tape to add some separation. Some people will even use a wood spacer or plastic spacer that you can screw into the door or window to offer some separation so that it is able to communicate better with the metal. There can be all sorts of issues with HVAC systems, other wireless cordless phones. There are a lot of other baby monitors. Any of these things can cause RF interference. So if you're having a specific issue that persists beyond just a simple range issue or metal, you can call your alarm professional. You can even reach out to us at support@alarmgrid.com or call us at our number on the website, alarmgrid.com. So that's supervision there. We already discussed chime. The alarm report should always be yes. When we enrolled the unit, the serial number came in with the proper loop number, which on the 5811 is loop 1 for the doors and windows. You can choose the zone description here. We usually recommend using the library so that the unit will voice enunciate when it's faulted. So you can set the chime, and the chime will initiate at the panel through the speaker when the zone is opened. If you want it to voice enunciate, it has to be a word that's in the library. So for example, once you start typing here, I can clear that. Once you start typing F, it's going to start throwing in things from the library. You can do, FRO, you get front. So if it reads it out on the screen as you're doing that, then it means it's a valid word. You can click done. We're going to keep it at front door and hit save. In order to test here, we can back out. We say yes to allowing the installer to re-enter programming. That's a function that if you hit no, you'll be locked out, and we have a video for getting you back in if you ever need to. But to make it easier, always hit yes when you're exiting programming. Hit back one more time here, and we can go to settings. We'll crank this volume up a little bit, and we'll enable the chime and hit save. You want to have the chime and voice feature enabled. So in order for the voice to work, the chime also has to be enabled. If you just want chime, you can toggle voice and keep it as just chime, no voice. For today, we're going to keep it with chime and voice and save. And we're going to go ahead and fault
front door
the unit, and you'll see it restored. Pull it away.
front
We get the
door.
yellow bar across to the top of the screen, not ready to arm fault chime. You'll see it says fault to front door. We can then put it back, and it automatically restores. So now we're back to ready to arm, and this unit is ready for install. We always recommend programming your sensors ahead of time. I recommend auto-enrolling them one at a time and installing them, testing them, and then moving on to the next sensor. That way you know that the unit's working. If it works in your hand at the panel and doesn't work on the door, it's usually an issue with the installation of the sensor. You always want to make sure that the reed switch is on the proper side.
Front door.
If you have the unit on this side of the contact, it's not going to work. You want to have it on the proper side with the reed switch, and also make sure that you're away from any metal. And if you are on metal, we have other solutions for that, which you can email us about. But there are contacts that work better. The 5816 is one that usually when padded out is a little bit more robust and can offer some better wireless transmissions. So just keep that in mind when you're dealing with any metal doors or windows. And if you need any further help with your 5811 door window contact, you can email us at support@alarmgrid.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.